Nervous system. Cerebrum. Cerebrum. Frontal lobe. Frontal lobe. Parietal lobe. Parietal lobe. Occipital lobe. Occipital lobe. Temporal lobe. Temporal lobe. Cerebellum. Cerebellum. Basal ganglia. Basal ganglia. Thalamus. Thalamus. Hypothalamus. Hypothalamus. Brainstem. Brainstem. Midbrain. Midbrain. Pons. Pons. Medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. Ventricle. Ventricle. Cerebrospinal fluid. Cerebrospinal fluid. Pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. Spinal cord. Spinal cord. Meninges. Meninges. Dura mater. Dura mater. Arachnoid mater. Arachnoid mater. Pia mater. Pia mater. Cranial nerve. Cranial nerve. Olfactory nerve. Olfactory nerve. Optic nerve. Optic nerve. Oculomotor nerve. Oculomotor nerve. Trochlear nerve. Trochlear nerve. Trigeminal nerve. Trigeminal nerve. Abducens nerve. Abducens nerve. Facial nerve. Facial nerve. Vestibulocochlear nerve. Vestibulocochlear nerve. Glossopharyngeal nerve. Glossopharyngeal nerve. Vagus nerve. Vagus nerve. Accessory nerve. Accessory nerve. Hypoglossal nerve. Hypoglossal nerve. Spinal nerve. Spinal nerve. Nervous tissue. Nervous tissue. Neuron. Neuron. Nerve cell. Nerve cell. Neuroglial cell. Neuroglial cell. Ganglion. Ganglion. Nerve plexus. Nerve plexus. Synapse. Synapse. Somatic nerve. Somatic nerve. Autonomic nerve. Autonomic nerve. Sympathetic nerve. Sympathetic nerve. Parasympathetic nerve. Parasympathetic nerve. Sensory neuron. Sensory neuron. Motor neuron. Motor neuron. Association neuron. Association neuron. Loss of consciousness. Loss of consciousness. Alert. Alert. Drowsy. Drowsy. Lethargy. Lethargy. Stupor. Stupor. Semicoma. Semicoma. Coma. Coma. Syncope. Syncope. Aphasia. Aphasia. Dysphagia. Dysphagia. Agnosia. Agnosia. Analgesia. Analgesia. Amnesia. Amnesia. Asthenia. Asthenia. Paresthesia. Paresthesia. Paralysis. Paralysis. Palsy. Palsy. Spastic paralysis. Spastic paralysis. Hemiparesis. Hemiparesis. Diplegia. Diplegia. paraplegia, paraplegia, quadriplegia, quadriplegia, tetraplegia, tetraplegia, convulsion, convulsion, clonic convulsion, clonic convulsion, delirium, delirium, hypnosis, hypnosis, migraine, migraine, seizure, seizure, tic, tic, tremor, tremor, nystagmus, nystagmus, sensory defect, sensory defect, sciatica, sciatica, low back pain, low back pain, microcephaly, microcephaly, macrocephaly, macrocephaly, anencephaly, anencephaly, hydrocephalus, hydrocephalus, cerebral concussion, cerebral concussion, cerebral contusion, cerebral contusion, intracranial hematoma, intracranial hematoma, epidural hematoma, epidural hematoma, subdural hematoma, subdural hematoma, subarachnoid hematoma, subarachnoid hematoma, intracerebral hemorrhage, intracerebral hemorrhage, dementia, dementia, Alzheimer's disease, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson disease, Parkinson disease, Huntington disease, Huntington disease, cerebrovascular disease, cerebrovascular disease, cerebral aneurysm, cerebral aneurysm, cerebral arteriosclerosis, cerebral arteriosclerosis, cerebral atherosclerosis, cerebral atherosclerosis, cerebral embolism, cerebral embolism, cerebrovascular accident, cerebrovascular accident, stroke, stroke, transient ischemic attack, transient ischemic attack, epilepsy, epilepsy, cerebral palsy, cerebral palsy, Bell palsy, Bell palsy, facial palsy, facial palsy, demyelinating disease, demyelinating disease, multiple sclerosis, multiple sclerosis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, Guillain-Barré syndrome, myasthenia gravis, myasthenia gravis, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, polyneuritis, polyneuritis, carpal tunnel syndrome, carpal tunnel syndrome, spinal stenosis, spinal stenosis, herniated intervertebral disc, herniated intervertebral disc, spina bifida, spina bifida, encephalitis, encephalitis, meningitis, meningitis, myelitis, myelitis, poliomyelitis, poliomyelitis, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, subacute spongiform encephalopathy, subacute spongiform encephalopathy, encephaloma, encephaloma, brain tumor, brain tumor, pituitary adenoma, pituitary adenoma, meningioma, meningioma, glioma, glioma, astrocytoma, astrocytoma, glioblastoma, glioblastoma, neuroblastoma, neuroblastoma, neuroepithelial tumor, neuroepithelial tumor, schwannoma, schwannoma, neurolymoma, neurolymoma, anesthesia, anesthesia, general anesthesia, general anesthesia, regional anesthesia, regional anesthesia, spinal anesthesia, spinal anesthesia, epidural anesthesia, epidural anesthesia, brachial plexus block, brachial plexus block, peripheral nerve block, peripheral nerve block, local anesthesia, local anesthesia, Glasgow Coma Scale, Glasgow Coma Scale, reflex test, reflex test, cranial reflex, cranial reflex, spinal reflex, spinal reflex, pathologic reflex, pathologic reflex, Babinski reflex, Babinski reflex, Babinski sign, Babinski sign, deep tendon reflex, deep tendon reflex, Romberg sign, Romberg sign, positron emission tomography, positron emission tomography, cerebral angiography, cerebral angiography, electroencephalography, electroencephalography, myelography, myelography, lumbar puncture, lumbar puncture, nerve conduction velocity, nerve conduction velocity, craniotomy, craniotomy, trephination, trephination, burr hole opening, burr hole opening, stereotactic radiosurgery, stereotactic radiosurgery, gamma knife radiosurgery, gamma knife radiosurgery, discectomy, discectomy, laminectomy, laminectomy, spinal fusion, spinal fusion, spondylosynthesis, spondylosynthesis, nerve block, nerve block, neuroplasty, neuroplasty, neurorrhaphy, neurorrhaphy, neurolysis, neurolysis, vagotomy, vagotomy, sympathectomy, sympathectomy, sympathomimetic drug, sympathomimetic drug, sympatholytic, sympatholytic, parasympathomimetic drug, parasympathomimetic drug, parasympatholytic, parasympatholytic, central stimulant, central stimulant, analgesic, analgesic, sedative, sedative, anticonvulsant, anticonvulsant, anesthetic, anesthetic,